spring cleaning for your online image. We're helping you start spring with a clean digital slate. From Google to Facebook and Twitter, it's important to know how to cover your tracks online. Otherwise, you and your personal information are vulnerable to snoops and advertising trackers. The solution, eliminating it, and it's not as hard as you might think. Our tech expert, Stephanie Humphrey, here to explain. Steph and I were just playing with my name. I come up as a doctor in Philadelphia on Market Street that's worth $500,000.
Like your second job.
I know.
You got a couple different careers.
So let's start with Google. That is crazy what comes up with what.
It is, and it's so funny because I've been recently helping a really good friend of mine whose name got associated with a website that he doesn't want it associated with. So we were trying to figure out how to, remove that connection. And it is kind of tough because you have to go to that website first and try to negotiate and get those folks to take it down. But Google does have a few different ways that you can contact them to see if you want, if it's a scam or if it's a phishing attempt, or there's some conditions, but you can try to contact Google to see if they can remove some search results that include your name that aren't correct.
So your first good step is to just Google your name itself.
Yes, and see what comes up, and if there's something in there that's not correct or shouldn't be that way, you can contact Google, and you can actually ask Google to remove you from search results altogether. So if you're like, you know what, if somebody Googles me, I don't want my name popping up, and they can do that as well.
That's impressive. Okay, let's talk software updates. We get them all the time on our phones.
And you have to do them.
Really? Because a lot of people...
Yeah, I know. People look at... You get that little bubble.
The little bubble with the one.
Exactly. And it's like, come on, do your update, do your update.
And tell us why,
They are there because when... developers issue new security updates, when there are different sort of malware attacks, and just a functionality of the operating system itself. But really, it's for security because there are security updates in those software updates for different things. So do your update when you get that notification,
because those attackers can kind of mine your digital footprint.
Yes, they're always finding hackers are always finding vulnerabilities, and software companies and smartphone companies are always constantly coming up with ways, coming up with ways to, keep people from getting into your phone. So it's a continuous process. It's not like, oh, this is the operating system and it's never going to be vulnerable and it's never going to be attacked and you'll never get hacked. You will get hacked. So update those download those software updates.
Sticking with phones, the apps on the phones, is there anything we can do about those?
Yeah, make sure that you know which apps are using what part of your data, because, especially for Android phones, when you download an app, you pretty much give that app permission to everything in your phone, like the camera, the microphone, your location services. On iPhone, it's a little bit different because it only allows the app to ask you for the specific things that it needs. So, Instagram needs your camera. So it'll ask you for access to your camera. But for Android phones, once you download that app, you pretty much have carte blanche to everything on the phone.
Unless you go in and
unless you go in and change it. So, you can always go in and make sure the apps on your phone only are using information that you wanted to while you're using the app, too. Because sometimes apps can just have access to your location all the time when they don't need it. They only need it when you're using the app.
Let's talk email and computers. What can we do with that quickly?
Well, emails, you can unsubscribe from all those random emails that you get. There's a service called unroll.me, and you can clean up that inbox from, retailers and all those emails that they throw you on those mailing lists, without your knowledge. So get rid of those subscriptions, and, just make sure, Google is mining your emails regardless, so there's nothing you can do about that, but, unsubscribe just to clean up your inbox.
Perfect.